This is the Seven Figure Agency Podcast. Discover the strategies and techniques to grow a highly successful and profitable digital marketing agency with your host, Josh Nelson.
What's up, guys? I hope you're doing well. I wanted to come on with this quick video. I did a training with our Seven Figure Agency members and coaching clients, and I think it's really important that I share this with you guys. So I wanted to kind of unpack what I feel is the state of the union with everything that's going on with COVID-19 and the government shutdown. There are some very real dangers that, if not addressed in your digital marketing agency, could have massive ramifications. So while I can't give you all of the step-by-steps and all the details, I can give you at least enough high-level information to kind of give you some insights and give you some information. So if you're watching this with me live, like, give me a thumbs up or give me a comment. Hey, Josh, what's going on? Just so I know that this is actually playing correctly through my system. But let me share my screen here. And here's the deal. COVID-19 has significantly impacted the U.S. economy and the worldwide economy. Businesses are shut. Schools are shut. There's this massive stimulus that's coming that ideally will help bail some situations out. But the reality is these are big times. And if we're not paying attention, if we don't pivot, if we don't change the game the way that the game has changed, we can get left behind, right? And so what I find is I'm talking with digital marketing agencies and I'm trying to figure out what's going on, where are they at, what are they thinking. Most of you guys are somewhere on this hierarchy of dealing with it, right? Some of you are bleeding, right? Literally, you're losing clients. They're canceling for good. You've got overhead that needs to be taken care of, and you don't know what to do, right? Like, the clients are going out the door. The expenses are there. You're bleeding, and you just need to stop the bleeding as quickly as possible. If you're bleeding, post in comments like bleeding. That's where I'm at, right? And by no fault of your own, right? If you worked with gyms, if you work with dental practices, if you work with restaurants in some cases, like, these businesses are shut, right? They're not producing income. And so when they look at you and they say, well, what am I going to pay you for? You're an additional expense. And so naturally, if you're in one of those spaces, potentially you could be bleeding. Others of us are slipping. So it's not like, the world's coming to an end. It's not like we're losing all of our revenue, but there's some slippage happening, right? Clients are calling in. They want to pause. They want to cancel their campaign potentially, or put things on hold until after. And we're definitely not moving forward. We're just kind of slipping backwards. Some of us are stable. So it's like, okay, you know what? We've got our client base. We're doing the best we can to keep those clients, and things are pretty solid. Like, we're hanging in there. We're hanging in there, and we're stable. And then I think at the very top of the hierarchy, there's certain people that are leading, right? People that in every space, whether it's dentistry, whether it's roofing, whether it's restaurants, whether it's gyms, that have changed the game. They've pivoted, right? They've changed what they're selling. They've changed what they're positioning. They've changed how they're positioning it, and they're still growing. Not only are they retaining their clients, they're upselling their clients at additional revenue. They're adding additional value, and they're landing new clients and growing their agencies. And so what I find is, I think most of the digital marketing agencies I talk to are somewhere below the line. They're somewhere between slipping and bleeding. It's like, I'm definitely not moving forward. And what I hope to do is give you enough insights to see the three big challenges that are facing your agencies, or the big dangers, and give you some insights on what you would need to do to move from bleeding to stable. And ideally from stable all the way to leading, like where you can really own your market, you can add value, and you can retain as well as possible. So I want to hear two things from you in comments. What I want to hear is, where are you? Are you leading? Are you stable? Are you slipping? Or are you bleeding? It is by no fault of your own. Hopefully we can help kind of fill in some gaps for you. And then also, put leading. Just so I know that you're watching, put leading if that's what you aspire to, if you'd like to see what it would look like to be leading in your digital marketing agency. Okay, so this is the state of the union, right? If you think about the state of mind that the general population is in right now, just post in comments for me as you're watching this, before, after, whenever you're watching it. Post in comments what you feel like the general state of the economy is right now. And what I think, and kind of what I saw when I was sharing this with our group, was people wrote fear, they wrote concern, they wrote uncertainty, they wrote those types of things. And I do believe the general consensus in the market right now is fear, right? People are scared with what's happening with coronavirus, with people dying, with the economy being shuttered, without having clarity on when things will come back to normal. There's fear, right? And I think if you're a consumer, if you're like consuming the news, CNN, Fox News, the general news media, probably different news media in other countries, you have no choice but to be in a state of fear, right? Because you're consuming, that's what they're putting out there, right? They're only putting out bad information. And so with that fear, really there's three threats or three dangers facing our agencies. The first one is clients are canceling. There's no question about it. And I work with several hundred digital marketing agencies, in a very personal relationship. I've got about 25 in a mastermind group that I work with very, very closely, and in a variety of verticals. Like I said, just about every vertical you can imagine. And there are clients canceling. In our world too, there's clients canceling, right? And naturally, they're looking at their expenses, and they're saying, okay, well, what am I spending here? What can I eliminate, right? And they're saying, you're not an essential service, right? You're $2,500, you're $3,000 per month that you're doing for me. Let's cancel it. Let's pause it. Let's suspend it. Let's put it on hold until things start to return. Post in comments if this is happening to you. You're getting cancellations. You're getting pause requests. You're getting these types of feedback from your clients. It is a real concern. The challenge and really the danger here is if your clients are canceling and you've got overhead, right? Whether you've got a virtual team or you're doing it, with an office, bricks and mortar office like ours, you have overhead, right? People you have to pay, contractors that are due, service providers that you pay that maybe you subcontract to. So if the clients start to cancel and that revenue stays where it's at, and those expenses stay where they're at, you wind up going negative, right? And that's a big problem. You can't have your clients all cancel out on you. You can't have all of them churn out on you. So put cancellations or pauses or suspenses if you're dealing with that in your agency. The second challenge or the second danger is, as I hear, agencies are having trouble getting the attention of prospects. So the same marketing strategies that used to work really well, whether it was cold outreach, whether it was going to association meetings, whether it's doing webinars, whether it's running Facebook ads for case studies and cheat sheets and magnets and things like that, a lot of us are facing the danger that we can't get the attention of our prospects. Like they're not opting in anymore. They're not scheduling in our calendar anymore. They're not expressing interest in what we do. Posting comments can't get attention if that's something you're facing in your agency. Here's the reality. Like if we can't get our prospects' attention, then there's no way we can continue to build our platform. There's no way we can continue to position ourselves as the expert in our space. There's no way we can continue to grow and scale the business, because if clients are canceling and there's no new ones kind of entering the fold, then we're in a cycle of doom. Like we're in a really bad place in our agencies. Now, the third major challenge, the third major thing that I'm seeing is prospects won't convert. Like there's one objection that's coming up again and again and again and again. And that objection is, well, listen, the world's in chaos. Listen, I'm not making any money because the business is shut due to COVID-19. Let's talk about it after. Even if they're interested, they won't commit right now. They won't buy because they've got this objection and you don't have a good answer for it. How many of you heard posting comments? Yep, objection. Just put an objection in comments if that's something you're hearing on a pretty consistent basis. So these are the dangers, right? And they're very real dangers. I'm hearing it from agencies every single day in all walks of life, in all variety of verticals and niches. And if we can't answer the question why they should buy now, then we're not going to get any new clients. We're not going to replace the revenue that we're losing from canceled clients, and we're definitely not going to grow. Really, if we can't solve for these three dangers, we have no choice but to be down at the bottom of the pyramid in bleeding or slipping, right? Because we're not replacing revenue and we're not retaining the ones that we have. So really what we have to solve for, and really why this whole video exists, why I'm doing this, is what we have to do is we have to come up with a reason for our clients to stay and pay, right? If you don't change what you're offering, how you're messaging it, the value that you provide, the way that you're communicating with your clients, or the way that you're communicating with your clients, they're going to cancel. But I promise you, if you do this right, if you kind of make some changes in the way that you operate, if you pivot, they will stay and they will pay. And I'm going to kind of talk to you a little bit about how. The other thing is, if we can't get their attention, right, they're not going to enter our fold. They're not going to raise their hands. Well, the reason that they wouldn't pay attention to your message primarily is because it's not resonating, right? All anybody can think about right now in today's environment, in today's economy, is the coronavirus, is the shutdown, is the stimulus bill, is how they're going to pay payroll, is how many employees are they going to have to shut down, is how are they going to keep in a survival state. And so if your message isn't resonating, it's because you're not speaking to the conversation that's already in their mind. I promise you, if you enter that conversation and you become a lifeline, you become like the answer to their problem. You give them the tools, the resources, the information they need to come out of this and survive and thrive, well, then your message resonates at a whole different level. As a matter of fact, we're getting more leads and opt-ins for our agency, Plumbing and HVAC SEO, right now than we have at a lower cost per lead than we have ever. Because we've entered the conversation that's going on, we're adding value, we're adding information, and we're leveraging the different marketing media that is currently oversaturated. Like there's tons of media, there's tons of eyeballs on social media, on YouTube right now, and less advertisers than ever. So instead of doing the old hat marketing that we've been doing, we have to update it to today's situation. We have to become the lifeline. So that's what we want to do. We want to shift. We want to pivot our messaging to become the lifeline. And if they're not converting, what we have to do is we have to give them a reason. We have to give them a compelling reason that they would buy now, right? A reason that it makes financial sense in this moment to invest. You know, whether it's because there's a gestation period between when you sign up for these types of services and when they start to generate revenue, right? Whether it's, look, there's a decline in costs right now to get leads. There's a decline in advertisers. So let's figure out a way to leverage it. Let's figure out a way to tap in to what's already happening. So these are the three key dangers, and these are the three key opportunities, really what we want to have happen. So I just want to unpack, I can't give you all the details, but I just want to unpack high level what we're going to be doing in Seven Figure Agency over the next 30 days as a group, how we're going to be solving for this, how we're going to be pivoting our agencies to make sure the clients stay and pay at the highest level possible, to make sure that our marketing resonates because it's on point, it's entering the conversation that's already going on in our prospects' minds, and to make sure we can still convert prospects because we've got a good business case and a good reason and a good answer to that question. Why should I do it now? I can't do it now. And get people to sign up day in and day out. So, I mean, as it relates to that reason, I will tell you, Plumbing and HVAC SEO as an organization, we did better last month than we have on our average throughout the course of the year. We already have 3 new clients this month in our Plumbing and HVAC SEO agency. And it's because our marketing is resonating with the situation and we've given them a compelling reason to say yes now, not letting them off the hook with, okay, let's figure it out once COVID-19 passes. Post in comments, yes, if that makes sense. And you kind of want me to unpack this a little bit further for you in terms of like what the key projects are and how you can make this happen, how you can make this work. Okay, so let's dive in. So the first thing we need to get them to stay and pay is we need a client retention plan. Right? We have clients, ideally. If you're watching this, you've got clients. You've got some kind of base business that you're building from. And we don't want to slip. We don't want to bleed. We want to keep the client base that we have. So the first thing we need to do is we probably need to innovate our offer. Like we got to shift what it is that we're selling. Like it's easy for me to share my example. I work with plumbing and HVAC companies. It's an essential service. They're still out there doing business. They're still, keeping the doors open. Their trucks are still running. They're still scared. A lot of them are still wanting to pause and shut down their campaigns. So, even in those scenarios, it's a challenge. But we've been able to come out ahead and say, look, here's a reason why you got to keep doing this, right? The fact is there's still demand for your services, right? There's still search volume. And even if there wasn't, you should still planting seeds because we don't think this is going to last forever. Like we know that eventually the economy is going to start to normalize and you're going to want to be the guy that planted seeds that positioned yourself in advance, right? So that's my example, right? And what we've done to innovate was just say, hey, look, people are on Facebook now. The only reason they won't call your services is because they think that you're not safe, right? Or that you're not open. And so let's get out in front of it on social media. Let's target a very concise area in your market and say, hey, we're open, we're available, and just saturate the market because the cost per impression is so low and the other advertisers have, for the most part, bailed. Let's do that, right? And so that's something new that we were able to bring to the table and say, hey, look, here's how we're innovating our offer. Now, tougher is dentistry. Tougher is roofing because it's a little bit less essential. I can tell you, Jimmy Nicholas from Jimmy Marketing works with orthodontists. He's lost some clients, but not a lot because what he said is, look, I understand that your practice is closed. Let's shift. Let's figure out a way that you can start to do consults via webinars, right? There are individuals in roofing, in gyms, in restaurants that are figuring out ways to innovate their offer, to pivot so that they can still be relevant, so they can serve their clients, and they stay, right? So I really want you to flex your creative muscles. Don't just say, oh, well, they've closed their business. I can't help them. I'm just gonna call it a day. Right? That's not what an entrepreneur does. Right? What is entrepreneurship at its most basic? Entrepreneurship is solving problems for profit, right? And there's no bigger opportunity to solve problems than right now. So don't sit on your hands and say, oh, my thing doesn't work anymore. Innovate. Figure out what the problem is, find the opportunity, and come to the market with something new and exciting. So we've got to innovate our offer. The other thing we have to do is we have to meet with every client, right? This is the time to over-communicate. This is the time to reach out to every client one-to-one and say, hey, what's going on? How are you feeling? What are you thinking in terms of the business? How's this impacting your payroll? What can we do to help? What are your challenges? Where do you see opportunities? What's interesting is if you get in touch with your clients and you don't hide behind emails, but you pick up the phone and you talk to your clients or you meet them on Zoom or you meet with them face-to-face, they appreciate that. And they're scared just like everybody else. They're consuming the news. They're hearing all of the fear. You have an opportunity to pour some hope into them, to help shift them from negative to positive, above line, where they can look at opportunities and they can think, well, if this whole thing is shut down, where's the opportunity? How could we change the way that we're approaching this to be a lot more effective, right? So, gyms, you shift to doing online training classes and show people how they can work out from their home without any equipment. Restaurants, you show them how to shift from serving in their dining in order to actually tapping into Postmates and things like that. I'm not in those spaces. I know clients that we work with are in those spaces and they're winning because everybody else has gone to sleep and they're innovating, right? So meet with every client, figure out where they're at, and develop an updated action plan. The most important thing your client needs to hear right now is there's hope, here's what we're going to do, and here's a new opportunity we think can help you right now, and here's the action plan. Here's what we're going to work on together over the next 30 days to make sure that this is a win, right? So that is going to help you keep the clients, right? Help keep them to stay, right? But there's a difference between stay and pay. Right, stay, a lot of agencies have kind of shifted to, I'm going to throw it in neutral. I'm going to tell my clients, hey, look, let's just pause this stuff. You don't need to pay me for a couple months. Once this thing recovers, we'll start collecting again, and we'll figure it out, right? Here's the problem with that approach. The problem with that approach is you have expenses. You need to get paid, right? You've done things. You've implemented services that have hard costs associated with them. And so you need to get paid for that. The only reason they would shut you down is because they've looked at you as a non-essential service, right? They've looked at their bills and they said, oh, yep, that's $2,500 a month. I'll cut that. That'll fall straight to my bottom line. That's not an important thing. I can stop that. It's no big deal. Well, the reality is their marketing, their online marketing strategy is mission critical. It's going to determine whether they go out of business over the next 2 to 3 months or whether they succeed. It's going to determine whether they can continue throughout the course of the next year or whether they fail. And so you have to be confident enough to say, no, now's not the time to cancel the account. Now's the time to double down. Now's the time to shift to this opportunity. That's what you have to do. And here's what every business is doing right now. They're looking at their expenses and they're saying, what can I cut? And the mindset really, and it is, and it should be, if I don't ask, I won't get, right? If I don't ask the government to give me some portion of that PPP, payroll protection program money, I'm not going to get it. If I don't reach out to my car payment and say, hey, I can't make the car payment, I can't make the house payment, if I don't ask, they're not going to let me off the hook. So it would be foolish of me not to ask. And so they're doing that with all their vendors. And so if when they reach out to you, and they say, hey, look, we're having a tough time, we can't pay the internet marketing bill anymore, what can we do, right? And you just drop your pants immediately to, all right, we can't, okay, we'll pause it for the next 6 months. Or we'll pause it for the next 2 months. They're like, great, sweet, this guy's ready to not get paid, awesome. But if you stand your ground and you explain why they need to be continuing to pay you, why now is the time, why you're not like a luxury expense, for the most part, they can afford it, right? If you're dealing with successful businesses, and I always advocate, you don't want to deal with the bottom of the barrel. You don't want to be dealing with companies that are doing $1 million plus per year. These companies have money. Even if they're completely shut down right now, they have financial resources to continue paying for a variety of things, right? Your local dentist, your local roofer, your local AC contractor that's doing millions of dollars per year has money. And if you give them a logical explanation why they should continue to pay you, they're going to be, okay, cool. He didn't give me a discount. He's here to game. And they're going to continue. They're going to continue to invest in what's going to grow their business. If this makes sense, please post in comments, yes, I get it. I'm not going to drop my pants. Sometimes you have to negotiate. So sometimes you got to be willing to say, hey, look, I understand, we can make arrangements, but don't just default to, yeah, we're not going to take payment for 2 months. Right? Get paid. You need that money. And they need to pay you because it's going to depend upon whether their business makes it to the next level or not. So you need a client retention plan. What we're going to be doing with our members is we're going to be mapping out this exact process. We're going to be mapping out what should the innovative offer look like in your space? What does that conversation look like with our clients when we meet so we can have a logical business conversation so that we've kind of role played a little bit what to say when they say, no more, we're going to pause this thing. And an action plan. How do you give them the action plan that makes sense? If that'd be useful, post in comments. That would be useful. I'd love to have that client retention plan. I'd love to think that through. Because obviously I'm going to share with you guys some ways you can engage with us. You can plug into 7-Figure Agency, become part of the program, and retain your client base. Stop bleeding, stop slipping, and really get to leading, right? Where you're actually retaining the clients and you're innovating and you're actually growing the business. So the second thing is, in order to get prospects' attentions right now, we have to have a resident marketing strategy, right? We have to be resonating with them. So resonating is somebody hears something and it matches. It's like, yes, I hear what you're saying. You're speaking directly to me. This is exactly what I need right now. And so for the most part, your marketing is being ignored. Right? It's being ignored because it's not relevant, because it's not entering the conversation that's already going on in their head, because there's no context to it. So what we want to do is enter the conversation, right? Enter the fact that COVID-19 is in place. Enter the fact that their business is shut. Enter the fact that there's going to be a big financial meltdown, but interject opportunity. Interject, hey, while everyone else is looking at this like a crisis, here's the opportunity. And if you're a strategic individual and in your space, there are strategic individuals that are looking for the opportunity. If you can enter the conversation and show them the opportunity, you become the lifeline. So we want to enter the conversation and we want to modify our offer, right? The standard thing that we were offering, the audit, the website SEO pay-per-click, may not be it right now. Maybe it's your COVID-19 survival plan. Maybe it's how to pivot from doing, massage therapy inside the office to doing online consults and showing people how to perform some type of basic massage on their spouse. I don't know, right? But we got to modify the offer so that it's more compelling. We have to share examples. Like, this is one of the most powerful things you can do, whether you're sharing examples of your actual clients or just people in your vertical that are succeeding. Show people that there's a way to be successful, that there are people thriving right in this moment, right in this chaos that we're all in. There are absolutely people that are thriving. So what you need to be doing is featuring that. Hey, look, check out this company. Look what they're doing. Look at the results they're getting. And when you can show successes, you can get people to believe, hey, wait a minute, there's an opportunity here. I should be paying attention. This person's bringing opportunity where everybody else is bringing doubt, where everyone else is bringing threats. Does that make sense? So we want to become the lifeline with our marketing. I'll tell you, by shifting our messaging and really speaking to the situation that's going on right now in plumbing and HVAC SEO, through Facebook ads, we're getting about $1 to $1.50 per lead. So clients are opting into our world at a velocity that they never have before, because we're one of the only digital marketing agencies serving plumbing and HVAC that's saying, look, I don't see a threat here. I see an opportunity. Here's how you need to message this to your customer base. Here's how you need to message this to your prospects. Here's the kind of videos you need to shoot. We're prepared to help you implement this and help you capitalize on it, right? So if you can resonate with your message, you can attract prospects, you can get eyeballs, you can get attention in your space that you've never had before, and it will carry dividends. It's not just going to work for you right now in the present moment over the next, 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 12 weeks, but it will position you as the thought leader in your vertical. You have to step up, you have to pivot your messaging, right? And you have to take ownership of your space. The time is now. There's a massive opportunity on this front, and you can get lots of leads coming in to your business right now. So a great example of this, on our call, Nate Haggerty from Tax Pro Marketer, he works with accountants and tax providers, has been doing this. He shifted his message. He started doing live interviews with experts in the space. He had a webinar earlier this month that had over 700 accountants on it, right? These are accountants, right? Think about your space. Your prospects, your customers are sitting at home because they're quarantined just like you. They're on their phone. They're on social media. They're seeking information. They're seeking answers. And so if you can be the person with the lifeline, with the value-added content, do you believe that you can get an influx of prospects within your space right now? I want to hear a yes or a no. Do you believe you can get prospects raising their hand, leaning in, looking to you as the expert, looking to you as the leader, and looking to hire you for what it is that you can bring to the table? I want to hear a yes or a no. Give me a thumbs up if what I'm saying here makes sense and you believe you can tap into this. Now, the third is the objection, right? Even if we get the prospect to the place where they're on our calendar, and they're like, okay, tell me what it is, and you take them through the consultative sales process, even if we get them there, what's happening as I talk to agencies is they're saying, this sounds great, let's hold off for a month. Let's wait till COVID-19 blows over. Let's wait till we have some more clarity on what things are going to end up with. And here's the reality. You have to give them a reason. You have to really address the objection. You have to address the objection, right? And so what you have to do is you have to refine your offer. So as you talk to the prospect, it needs to be spoken to the fact that here's what's going on in the current moment. Here's what we're going to do in order to get you results now. And it also has to create urgency, right? You have to be able to explain, these services have a gestation period. For instance, if you're in a space where everything's shut down and you can't do something to generate calls right now, ideally you've innovated something that can generate that. But in the worst case, just being able to say, look, this is the perfect opportunity. You're sitting on your hands right now. Do you believe that the world's going to come back to normal at some point in the next 4 to 6 months? Yes. Do you believe you're still going to be in business? Like you're still going to be around? Yes. So what are we waiting for? Right? This is going to take us 4 to 6 weeks to build anyways. We've got to build a website. We've got to write content. We've got to update imagery. Right now, you've got 100% undivided attention on this. We can make this better than we could at any other time in the history of your business. So let's get started now because the gestation period, right? That's one angle. The other angle is you talk about supply and demand, right? If you've come up with a unique angle that none of the other people in your space are doing, then you're saying, look, now's the time. Let's do this. Let's capitalize. Let's make sure that you've got the money to pay the bills, to keep the doors open, to really come out of this thing successful, right? So that's the other angle. As your competitors aren't advertising, let's double down. Let's get ahead of the game. Let's plant seeds that position us for success now and in the future. So we got to create urgency. And I think as it relates to this moment in time, we want to be a little bit flexible, right? We want to be flexible enough to say, hey, here's the deal. Here's how much it is. And if they really want to do it, but they want to negotiate on a couple little points, take the negotiation. You can bring it down a little bit. Change the term from 12 months to 6 months. Be flexible. We've been doing that in our agency like we never have before because these are different times, right? It's like I said, we have 7 new clients last month. We have 3 so far this month, and we're being a little bit flexible. So this is what you need to do, right? You need to make sure that you've got a client retention plan that's completely dialed in and mapped out so you can retain your client base and give them a reason to stay and pay. You want to develop messaging that's going to resonate so you can tap into the conversation. Because right now there's a conversation that's universal. So it's not like usually you're like, okay, how would I get my prospect's attention? I'm going to come up with a lead magnet, I'm going to write a book. Everybody's got this same conversation. You just want to tap into that with messaging, with your videos, with your content, with your emails. Now's the time to tap into that. And then you want to be able to proactively address the objection. Why now? Why not put it off for 6 months? Have a good answer for that. And I promise you, not only can you go from kind of this bleeding to struggling phase or this bleeding to slipping phase to leading, retaining your clients, getting more clients than you had before, growing your agency, taking things to the next level. So I hope this was valuable. I hope this was useful. Hopefully, this gives you the snapshot information that you're like, okay, I got some ideas here, right? I gotta do this stuff to retain. I gotta do this stuff to change my message. I gotta do this stuff to address the objection. And I want to hear from you in comments because this is member content that I'm sharing with you guys. I really feel like it's pretty mission critical right now to kind of share with the agencies that are part of local agency success and part of our world because right now things are different, right? You have to shift, you have to pivot. Now, I'd like to invite you to join me if you'd like to learn more about this and you'd like to be part of this series we're doing here in April where we're unpacking the client retention plan. Like we're really mapping out right now, what's the conversation with the client, what's the innovative offer, what's the action plan that we're going to roll out. We're going to roll up our sleeves and we're going to build that together for your particular niche so you can retain the clients that you have and stop the bleeding. We're going to map out the resonant message, right? We're taking what's been working for us in plumbing and HVAC SEO, the resources, the ads, the messaging, and we're helping you craft that for your particular niche, giving you swipes and deploys. That way you can say, okay, I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to take this, I'm going to record it, I'm going to put it out there. Right? That's what we're doing. Is we're going to help you create the message that resonates so that you can really continue to generate leads and opportunity. And then we're going to work through addressing the objection, right? Making sure that we're confidently able to address the question of why now and give them a very compelling reason that now's the time to make the decision. And so, if you'd like to be part of that process and you'd like to work together with me and the other 7-figure agency members on this to make sure we're pivoted, to make sure that we're capitalizing on the opportunity, all I ask is, send me a personal message. Hey, Josh, I want to learn more about the pivot. I want to learn more about how getting engaged in the pivot can help. So, if you're watching this on Facebook, click my name, send me a personal message. I want to learn more, and we'll schedule a quick chat. If you're watching this somewhere else by chance, shoot me an email. It's josh@sevenfigureagency.com. Hey, Josh, I'm interested in learning more. Or you can just go to sevenfigureagency.com/schedule. That'll take you to a page. And we'll just walk you through. Hey, here's what it looks like. Here's how much it costs. Here's why I think now's the time to take action on this and really help you pivot and really take your digital marketing agency through this storm as effectively as possible so that you succeed in the short term, but you're also positioned as a slingshot. So it's like, look, you might pull back a little bit, right? You might be bleeding. You might be slipping. You might be starting to move up to stable, But ultimately, once the economy reopens and you've done all the stuff we've talked about here, you're a better agency. You're a better business person. And you're ready to slingshot out into Q3, Q4, 2001, 2021, 2022 as the dominant player in your space. So I hope this is helpful. Send me a personal message. Send me an email. Go to 7figureagency.com/schedule. Let's talk about how we can work together. Let's talk about how we can help you survive and thrive. Really, I believe more than anything else that what you focus on expands. So I want to encourage you, turn off the news. Stop watching Fox News. Stop watching CNN. Focus on what you want. You want more success. You want more abundance. You want to be able to serve your family better. You want to be able to serve your clients better. You want to be able to help people in need, right? Your clients are in need right now. Your clients' teams are in need right now. Like, focus on that. Focus on what you want. You want to help. You want to serve. You want to take your business and your life to the next level. Focus on that, not the negative, right? Because your thoughts lead to your feelings lead to your actions lead to your results. So if you control your thoughts and say, look, I choose to focus on what I want to see. I choose to focus on the opportunity. Then you feel confident, you feel empowered, and you take action, right? You develop an action plan. You develop a client retention strategy. You put content out. You put information that positions yourself as the expert. You confidently ask clients to come on board. You ask them to say yes now, and the result is more growth, more acceleration within your business. Really, your thoughts in this moment in time, whatever crisis you're going on in your business, whatever crisis is going on in your family, your thoughts will determine the outcome. And I really want to encourage you to focus on the opportunity. So hopefully this has been helpful. If nothing else, my goal is to share great ideas and insights with you, help you think about how you can pivot your business. Give me a thumbs up. Share this, right? This is posted in a private group right now. If you know other agencies that can benefit from this information, share it, right? Tell them to come join the Local Agency Success Group just for the sake of watching this video, just for the sake of getting these insights and ideas. And I think this can be a game-changing thought process, right? If you can shift from negative to positive and you can solve for those three key dangers, you can have massive, massive ramifications in the current and long term. So have an amazing, amazing day. Thank you so much for your time. Let me know if you have follow-up questions. Let me know if you have follow-up thoughts. If you'd like to join us in this journey, just in the month of April, really mapping out your pivot plan, hit me up. Send me a personal message. Shoot me an email. Go to 7figureagency.com/schedule, and I'll talk to you soon.